Welcome to Beyond Sport with Fiona Stewart. In this podcast, I chat to athletes, coaches, and industry professionals about their sporting journey and the lessons they've learned along the way. Guests range from Olympians to the everyday lover of sport, but the message stays the same. There is so much more to sport than what meets the eye. Make sure you hit subscribe on Apple Podcasts or follow on Spotify so you don't miss the release of each new episode. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Beyond Sport with Fiona Stewart. I'd love to hear from you. Today's episode is with a young changemaker in the world of sport, Abbie, the creator of Her Way magazine. Abbie, who is 11 years old, said that a lack of magazines dedicated to female sport motivated her to create one herself. Not only this, but she's donating $1, which is 50% of each sale, to UNICEF's Empowering Girls Through Cricket appeal. Her first issue has been out for a month, and the November issue is actually dropping the day this podcast is released. So make sure you head to Abbie_Herway on Instagram to check out this incredible magazine. With that being said, if you know someone who's doing incredible things through sport and using their love for sport as a tool for good, I ask you to please send them my way. Send me a message through on Instagram at Beyond Sport with Fiona Stewart. I want to hear and share the fantastic ways people are using sport to help their community. In this chat, you get a little behind the scenes insight into Abbie's passion of sport and some of her most memorable moments. This is a short and sweet episode, but the message behind what Abbie is doing is incredible. Let's get into it. I guess I'll start off with asking, what sport is your favourite sport, Abbie?
I think I have two favourite sports. I mean, I like most sports, but if I had to pick two, I would pick AFL and cricket because I guess, liked them for quite a while now.
Yeah, and you've been playing AFL for a few years now. What was it about AFL footy that you liked the most or that has drawn you to it the most?
Well, I actually got into AFLW from cricket, from going to a cricket game. I guess I like it because it's kind of a mix of a few sports. Like you can bounce the ball and you can mark and you can kick the ball as well. So I think I just enjoy it. Also, I like team sports, I guess, more than individual sports. So I just enjoy being on a team. And I think AFL is a good sport to make friends.
Yeah, definitely. And you have had some amazing opportunities through that. So you've even been able to travel interstate down to Adelaide and Melbourne and play at the halftime Oz Kick show pretty much, isn't it? Like those matches.
Yeah, when I was actually an Oz Kicker of the Year nominee in 2019. So yeah, I got to go down to Adelaide and I stayed there for I think a week, and then I went to Melbourne in September, and that was a really cool experience because yeah, I got to go to the AFL Grand Final in Melbourne, and I got to play a little Oz Kick game at halftime. So that was probably a few of the coolest days of my life, I guess.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize you played at the grand final one. That's amazing. What did that feel like with all those people there?
Well, I'm pretty sure there were over 100,000 people there because it was, I guess, it was a good grand final, although I didn't get to watch much of it because I was getting ready. But I remember it being quite cold. I don't know why I remember that, but it was really fun. And I think there were 10 girls, so I played with them. And one of the girls I'm still really good friends with now. So yeah, it was a great experience.
Oh, and that's 2 years later and you're still good friends with her. How awesome's that? That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I actually watched an interview in 2009. I think it was maybe the round 4 one. So it must have been the Adelaide one. And you mentioned that if you got the Oz Kicker of the Year that you'd get a puppy. Have you gotten that puppy yet?
I think I've been wanting a dog for about 9 years now. Also, I said something to myself. I promised that if I got a dog, I would teach it to skateboard because I've seen videos of dogs skateboarding. But yeah, I don't know. I just really wanted a dog.
Oh, well, you're learning skateboarding. We were saying before we were recording that you have been doing a little bit of skateboarding in lockdown. So I guess you're on your way to getting that dog skateboarding on the skateboard, even if you're an adult. You're learning how to skateboard first.
I'm pretty sure that if I get a dog, it'll be better at skateboarding than me.
Oh, that's okay. I think you might be able to start an Instagram account for your dog as well. Like I know my dog's got his own Instagram and he's more famous than I am.
Yes. So the magazine's got an Instagram account, and I think a few days ago, a dog's account, like a dog Instagram account, started following me. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, how cool is that? That's awesome. So we're actually going to touch on the magazine. So you're a huge advocate for women in sport. Like, where did that come from? Did that come from like your parents exposing it to you, like female sport?
I think I when I originally started going to sporting events, they were all men's ones like basketball and AFL. But then the first ever women's sporting event I think I went to was a cricket game. That's where I also found my liking of AFL. So I guess men's sport was kind of how I got into women's sport. But as soon as I found out, because I didn't really know that women could play AFL and basketball, but as soon as I found out about women's sport, I've been loving it ever since. I've been to a lot of games, and yeah, I guess if I hadn't gone to that cricket game, I wouldn't have had this magazine.
Yeah, exactly. And it's pretty cool that, you know, you're growing up and you're seeing females playing sport in person, but also on the TV. Like I know when I was growing up, I'm almost 26. So when I was growing up, AFL women's wasn't a thing and you didn't really see many females playing sport. Like you saw the swimmers and at the Olympics, but you didn't get to see as much. So it's awesome that you're growing up and seeing it. And now you've got your own magazine. So Her Way, where did that idea come from?
So I first got the idea when I was in a medical appointment, so at a waiting room there, and I was looking at the shelves of magazines, and I picked up three magazines which were about sport, and I read through them, and I realized that there were only a few pages in the middle about women's sport. So then I said, like in my head, like I was thinking, why aren't there any magazines about women's sport? And then I think it was probably more than a few weeks now, but I'd say a month ago, my dad brought me and my sister a magazine about celebrities and actors and singers from America and Australia. So that's when I finished reading it, I said, why aren't there any magazines just about women's sport? So my dad said, why don't you make one? And here I am.
And it has blown up. Like it is amazing. I remember purchasing it and reading through it and I was like, wow, like this is incredible. It's got things like, you know, you've written an editor's note, you've got birthdays, like the October birthdays. You've even got a social media shout out for a woman in sport who's doing amazing on social media. You've got, I really enjoyed your Auskickers diary where you spoke about, you know, your experience. And yeah, you've got a book review, you've got your 7 quick questions where you interview an athlete. I just can't imagine how much work went into that. How did you fit that in?
Well, obviously the first magazine, I guess, because I've never obviously wrote a magazine before, but it was really fun, and I guess it was because I'd only actually interviewed one person at the time, and that was before I actually decided to make the magazine. So I went into it, I guess, not really knowing what to do, but I think it definitely turned out better than I expected, and it's definitely blown up and it's much bigger and getting a lot of attention. So I'm still in shock of what's happening.
Yeah. Do you know why it's getting a lot of attention, Abbie?
I think it's because it's the first kind of magazine about women's sport, I guess, and I don't think I've ever seen one.
Exactly right. And the fact that you are 11 and you have come up with this idea and you've just run with it and you've put it out there in the world is amazing. And I just, yeah, like we've met for the first time today and I'm so proud of you just because of you're chasing that passion and you're chasing that dream and you're putting that out there into the world and showing all the amazing things these women in sport are doing. How long did it take you to put that magazine together, like that first issue?
I think it might have been over the course of 2 weeks. If I spent maybe an hour or two every day, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more, but probably over the course of 2 weeks. So we ended up getting it out before October started because it's an October issue, which I think was a good idea.
Yeah, definitely. And it's incredible. And in terms of like where we can find it, so we can go to your Instagram account. So give your Instagram account a shout out. What is it?
It's Abbie underscore her way. So yeah, there's a link to the where you can buy the magazine. You can also search up Her Way magazine or Abbie Her Way magazine, and you can buy it on the website.
Yep. And I'll make sure all of those links are in the show notes as well to make it super easy for people. But a huge part of, what this podcast is about is how like sport can be used to benefit the community. And what you've actually done is your magazine is $2 to purchase, and you donate 50% of that to the UNICEF Empowering Girls Through Cricket, which I think is phenomenal. And I think it's a big shout out to the amazing work that you're now doing, is you're giving back to the community through this magazine. What was it about that cause that made you want to donate?
Well, I guess I think it was a good idea that we donated some of the money to charity, and preferably one that helps girls in sport or people who play sport. So I think UNICEF's program was a good one because it's helping girls in developing countries like Sri Lanka, play cricket and have the opportunity to play cricket and have the same equipment as people here, so that more girls will get into cricket and sport.
Yes, I really love that, because I've studied at uni a Bachelor of Sport Development, which is basically how sport can be used as a tool to help the community. And a program like that is exactly what that's about. And I just love that you were able to find that program and then link your profits to that. Like, that is phenomenal, and you've done so well. And that's a big part of why I asked you to come on, is because I think it's not only you're putting out amazing stuff and amazing content, but you're also giving back 50% of what that magazine is to this amazing cause, and you're helping girls in developing countries through that.
Yeah, I'm really proud of how it's gone, and I'm really happy that we've decided to give money to a charity that's gonna help girls. So yeah, I'm really happy about that, and that we've actually asked UNICEF. We've asked like UNICEF on, well, not me because I'm 11 and you have to be 30 to Instagram, but I asked. We've like contacted UNICEF, so yeah, they know about it, and I think they're really happy that we're
Yeah,
doing this.
that's fantastic. Well, we don't know where you're going to end up, Missy, but it's going to be somewhere good, I think. Do you have a favorite memory so far in the world of sport? I know we touched on playing those halftime matches in Auskick, but do you have like a favorite memory when you think of sport? What's your favorite memory?
I don't think anyone's ever asked me that question. It would probably be something where I'm watching sport. Like when Ash Barty won Wimbledon was really cool because I met her a few years ago. Although it was really late at night, I couldn't watch the whole match, unfortunately. But I think it was a really cool sporting moment when she won, because she was, I think, the first Indigenous woman to win in over 50 years. So that's probably one of my favorite moments.
Yeah, that was certainly phenomenal. And I know Australia went crazy when she won that. That's a great answer. I threw that at you, and you've done really well with answering that one. So one of the last questions, and I've got a few more for you after this anyway, but I want to see, because Abbie, you are the future of sport. I feel like you're going to make such a change, and you already are making a change in so many people's lives, especially through donating this money back. But where do you see the future of sport? Where do you want to see it?
One of the reasons I started the magazine was because I wanted to see women and men equal in sport. So one of the things is that women aren't getting paid as much money, and I guess they have to have other jobs. So I hope that when I'm older, and hopefully I'm playing a sport, I don't know what sport I want to play when I'm older, but hopefully when I'm older, maybe in 5 or 10 years time, that, or even sooner, that you'll have to pay the same amount of money to watch women's sporting events as the men. They'll get paid the same amount of money, so they won't have to have other jobs, and well, they can be better. And hopefully some, because I know there's quite a few sports where men have a competition but the women don't. So I hope that just in general, men and women will be equal.
Yeah, I think that too. And growing up, it wasn't as close to the equality as it is now. So I think we're definitely going in the right way. And, change makers like you are definitely, helping that push along. And I think it's fantastic. I can see you've got an
Yeah.
Elise Perry book in the background. Is she one of your favorite athletes?
I do really look up to, I guess, because my favorite sports are cricket and AFL. I do look up to Elise Perry and like Alyssa Healy and Beth Mooney. But yeah, I don't think I've read a whole book yet, but I've got quite a few books about sport. I might have 5 or 6, maybe even 7. But yeah, I have a lot of books. I guess I can collect more women's sport books.
Yeah, well, just think you've got a book review in each one of your issues of your magazine. So you've got to have to read the books to be able to review them. So I think you're off
Yeah,
to a good start.
yeah. One of the good bits about the magazine is that I get to read books as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so I want to know, because I know the back of this current issue of October, it says there's kind of a summer issue, but are you going to do a November issue, do you reckon?
Because I didn't really expect the magazine to be this big. I was originally gonna make one every maybe couple of months, so every 2 months. But after seeing the attention it's got, I'm definitely gonna have to do a. Well, I've already started on the November one, so we're gonna have to make one every month now, I think.
Oh, that is amazing. So this podcast is going to be coming out close to the end of October. So when's the November one get released? Or we'll see. Is it kind of start of November, end of October?
I think it might be at the rate it's going. I think it's going to be released maybe on maybe the 1st of November or the last few days of October. Definitely
Perfect.
soon.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And you've got lots of athletes lined up and lots of interviews on the way.
Yeah, I've already done a few interviews with people which I can't name yet because it's a surprise. But yeah, I've definitely been able to interview more people than last time, which was only the one Hannah Green who was on the cover. But I've been able to interview more people, and I hopefully will get to interview a lot more.
Yes, definitely. I'm sure they'll all be on board, and I'll be passing it on to anyone that I've spoken to, yeah, to give you a call if you're interested. But what's your favorite part of making this magazine been?
I think I enjoy all of it. The fun bits are, I guess, getting to interview people and getting to, speak to so many female athletes, which has been really cool. And it's kind of weird because I'm still getting used to this whole thing. It's weird just casually chatting to a amazing female athlete. So that's probably my favorite bit.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal, isn't it? And you don't really realize, and you're like, oh, I just spoke to like a world champion or an Olympian, and you kind of have to pinch yourself. I still feel that, so don't worry.
Yeah, I haven't got my head around this yet, and it's just like I just spoke to an Olympian, so I can't. Even weeks later now, it's been released for about a month. I still just in shock.
Yeah, it's amazing though. This is a big question, and you don't have to give me an answer, but I know a lot of kids your age get asked, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I know you like writing and I know you like sport. So are you trying to go into that area, or you just don't know yet and you're just enjoying the ride?
I guess I've changed what I want to do when I'm older quite a few times, but I kind of want to. I guess I might not be making this magazine forever, but I want to continue this for quite a few more years, hopefully. I also, I guess, want to be a sports journalist, or like I want to play a sport, maybe AFL or cricket if I can continue playing that and get better. I also want to be maybe a sport teacher, but yeah, I guess something along the lines of writing and sport.
Yeah, and you know what? You can do all of those things in the span of your life, and they all are kind of complementary to each other. So you just follow where your heart goes and keep,
Yeah.
keep working hard, and you will get wherever you want to be. Like, look at how far you've come already.
Thanks. I'll take that advice, and I guess I can. I hope I can do everything I want to do at some point in my life.
I think you definitely will, and I am so excited to see where you take it, and even the next issue. Like my birthday is at the start of November, so I'm going to be reading it on
Oh
my birthday, I think.
yeah, yeah. But hopefully I can make one when it's my birthday as well.
Oh yeah, you'll have to do a special bonus when. What month is your birthday in?
It's in May, so
May. Yeah, you'll have to keep it going all the way to May.
yeah. Hopefully I can continue it for few other years.
I think you will. So, Abbie, thank you so much for coming on today. I am so excited to share Her Way magazine with everyone out there because it is fantastic. Like, the quality of it is phenomenal, and I just can't get over how amazingly you've put it together, really.
Thanks. I can't, like I've said before, can't believe I've done it either.
Well, thank you for coming on again. And yeah, I look forward to reading that November issue.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Beyond Sport with Fiona Stewart. This is a completely independent podcast that has been created to share the journey and lessons of top-level sporting professionals, but also your everyday lover of sport. If you liked this podcast, I'd really appreciate if you could leave a review and share it with someone who you think would also enjoy it. Until next time.